What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. And today we're going to be continuing the 5-year rebuilds. We're going to be using the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, this is a Memphis team that was just in the Western Conference semifinals, a team that won 56 games last year, did fall in 6 games to the Warriors, who went on to obviously win the finals. Their kind of big move this offseason was giving Morant that max contract extension. Will 100% be here throughout the entirety of the video. One of the best young players in the NBA. And on top of that, this team does have a lot of young talent. So we're going to talk about this team and how I think they could potentially maybe even sneak into the Western Conference Finals, if not the NBA Finals next year. But before we do, we're officially on the road to 40K. So if you have not yet, would like to join the community, subscribe to the channel. We'd greatly appreciate it around here. Of course, if you guys do have any other video ideas, feel free to comment them below. And if you can leave a like on the video, you'd be the GOAT. Without further ado, man, we got a 5-year Memphis Grizzlies rebuild. Let's see if we can get them a championship. So before we do get into the video, I have a big thank you to announce, and a very, very big thank you at that. We finally do have an updated shared file where everything does seem to be really, really accurate and up to date. I want to give a big thank you to Joel Kreider, who actually commented this on my Celtics rebuild the other day. This is going to be my first time going about using a shared file. So I'm excited. I went through it a little bit. Everything seems almost 100% accurate, so I have no problems with this. I'm assuming it's going to work perfectly well. The PSN name is called Green Sour Cream. Funny enough, I thought that was really funny. But the shared file is called Today. If you'd like to go ahead and use it if you have a PS5, you're more than welcome to do so. Thanks again, Joel. Or Joel, however you pronounce it again, I'm sorry. But again, great file, great job on this one. So let's get into the roster. Morant, without a doubt, one of the best young players in the entirety of the NBA. Got that huge contract extension. I know that dollar figure is not necessarily accurate. It's the most 2K allows you to give in an extension. So that's what we're going to go ahead with today. It was already on there. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to have Morant here. They got Tyus Jones here as well. Not a bad backup point guard option. A little pricey at around 15, 16 million bucks a year as a backup option. But we did just draft Kennedy Chandler with the 8th overall pick in round number 2. So he could be a guy that is here through maybe the entire video. We'll see what ends up happening there, but only 19 years old. There's definitely a little bit of potential. They got Desmond Bane, who kind of came onto the scene and honestly was really, really good for them. I mean, I'm still mad because I believe the way it works is my Celtics might have traded that pick slot technically away. I don't think they technically traded Desmond Bane away. More the slot that they went ahead and used to draft him, but he's obviously turned out to be a very bright spot for this team. Probably their shooting guard of the future. John Concar came back on a 3-year deal this offseason. I cannot believe Jarrett Culver still has a spot on an NBA roster right now. Dylan Brooks, I know some people are not a big fan of him, especially in Golden State, understandably. Zaire Williams, who actually progresses really well in this game. Former 10th overall pick in last year's draft. I'd like to go ahead and eventually maybe see if I could start him, but obviously things do change. We will see. Vince Williams Jr., another second-round pick from the 2022 draft out of VCU. He's a 70 overall, maybe could eventually hop into the rotation at some point in time. We will see. Jaren Jackson Jr., second best player on this team, defensive monster. Typically does win at least one DPOY award throughout these 5-year rebuilds, so I'm excited to have him here today. Jake LaRavia, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, from Wake Forest, was their 19th overall pick. He's actually 73 overall, and we really don't have another backup power forward, so he'll probably get those minutes. David Roddy, as well, out of Colorado State, was their 23rd overall pick. So that being said, I think especially having a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr., who's just so solid defensively, we're going to have a lot of bright spots on this team. Excuse me. That being said, the center spot's interesting for me because there's not a guy here that I can comfortably say I'd be excited with as my starting center the entire video. I like Steven Adams. I know he's a fan favorite, all-around good guy, it appears. I don't know if he's necessarily my starting center for more than a season. Brandon Clark here as well, still relatively young at 26. And then Xavier Tillman, who could maybe be a rotation piece for me. I also maybe could move him down to the backup power forward spot. I just don't love that D shooting. It's kind of a suspect statement, but that D-rated shooting, also a suspect statement, at the backup power forward spot. So, and I also do want to develop some of the young pieces we have on this team. I believe they had 4 draft picks alone on this roster right now, just from the 2022 draft. So there's definitely a lot of development to be had here with the squad. I'm actually going to send David Roddy down to the G League. Along with that, maybe I send Kennedy Chandler as well. I think he could definitely benefit from playing down there and eventually maybe become the backup point guard here to Morant. So that being said, I definitely also don't need 3 centers. So unfortunately, one of these guys is going to be the odd man out. It's probably going to be Xavier Tillman, but we still do have another year of team control on him. And again, I know that they're not all going to be, or not, I'm assuming all 3 of these guys will most likely be in the rotation going forward for the Grizzlies in real life. I'm doing this the way that I think it suits the team best for the future. I just want to explain that. Some people still kind of get that confused and still get pissed when I'm not playing guys that probably are in the rotation in real life. That being said, this team was a 2 seed last year in real life at 56 wins. I think we can eventually maybe eclipse that, maybe be on to the Western Conference Finals, leaving the NBA Finals. I'll see you guys in the rotation before we do start sim in the first year. It is a very talented squad for us here in Memphis to start off this video. It's obviously a huge advantage starting out with a team as good as this, and I'm hoping for at least 2 to 3 championships in today's video. We got Ja Morant at the starting point guard spot. Get used to it. He's not going anywhere. You got Desmond Bane here starting at the shooting guard spot. Dillon Brooks, who probably not a long-term answer here for me, if I'm being honest with you, but is here at least for the first season. Jaren Jackson Jr., hopefully a future depoy for us, starting at the power forward spot. And then Steven Adams is the guy I decided to go with. Maybe doesn't make the most sense in the long run, but I think he probably is the most serviceable. I hate that word, but like I kind of like him in this rotation, if you will. I'm giving Zaire Williams the 6-man spot, and the reason for that is because out of the starting lineup, besides obviously Steven Adams, Dillon Brooks is probably the guy that I'd be most likely to move on from. So getting Williams those minutes, potentially progressing him even higher, is a really good option, I would believe. Tyus Jones, the backup point guard spot, backing up Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, John Concar, and then I am playing Jake LaRavia a little bit as well, as I mentioned, to back up Jaren Jackson Jr. Unfortunately, Xavier Tillman just really not going to get any minutes for me. Maybe I can find a way to get him in there next year, but as of now, probably not. But this is a team that should be no less than, I would assume, a 3 seed. Very, very talented. I'll see you guys at the end of the first season here in Memphis. The first season in Memphis is over. It was not necessarily one I'd like to remember. I mean, we are a 6 seed. We are in the playoffs. This team has way more talent than a 6 seed. Luka Doncic, MVP. Unfortunately, we have to count it because it was a triple-double. Very impressive season from, the young 2K GOAT. Jalen Duren, Rookie of the Year. Wow. So, he might be a bit overpowered in this shared file. That might be something I have to check on in the future. Obviously, I have not checked on that so far. I don't know how the rookies are going to play. It's my first time simming a season, but that's absolutely insane. Also wins 6th Man of the Year. I think the 2022 rookie draft class might be a bit overpowered if Jalen Duren's doing that. Jonathan Isaac wins Defensive Player of the Year. Bones Highland, Most Improved Coach of the Year, does go to Chris Finch. That's insane numbers from Jalen Duren, especially as a 6th man. We end up going 46-36, so 10 wins worse than they technically were last year. Kind of crazy. Thought this team would be a little bit better. Looking at the numbers, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., obviously our 2 best players, kind of leading the charge for us. Dillon Brooks was solid. Again, I think he's a guy that we might not necessarily have for the long term, but a very solid first season for us in Memphis nonetheless. Desmond Bane, obviously still progressing. Zaire Williams, Tyus Jones, Brandon Clark, Jake LaRavia, Steven Adams with 5 and 10. Just so funny to look at numbers like that. I, again, still can't believe. What happened to Jared Culver, dude? I saw him at the bottom of the list. That's why I'm bringing him up. Like, I feel like he was so promising, and then just sucked. Like, it's rude, but and it's the harsh truth, but it's true. I don't know. Doncic, Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Christian Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench, Maxi Kleba, Reggie Bullock, Carmelo Anthony ended up signing. I mean, obviously he's not on a team right now, so it looks like he was just in free agency. Ended up signing with the Dallas Mavericks as we lose in 5 games to Luka and the Mavericks. Not the way that I thought this one was going to go, as they go on to win the finals, and looks like just like in normal 2K non-shared files, in this shared file, Luka is also extremely overpowered. But at least the Pelicans do not appear to be that crazy overpowered anyways. Maybe it's the Mavericks we're now going to have to deal with a lot. Let's hit the draft lottery. We are obviously not in it. We do not have any picks in it, but we can still sim it and see what happens. It goes Spurs, Wizards, Magic, Thunder, Rockets. Honestly, not a crazy lottery. Suns are always bad for some reason. As you can see, they do the 6th overall pick. Kind of weird. Taylor Jenkins definitely not going anywhere. I think he's a very good head coach. We can head up to the draft. Do we have our first round pick? We do. It is at number 20. We also have 20 of our own in round 2, and then 26 from the Toronto Raptors in the 2nd round as well. I think it is time to make a trade, maybe move up a couple spots in the draft. We definitely have some options for what we can do there. Not a lot of kind of guys on this team right now that I'd be wanting to trade, but we should be able to find something. So the New York Knicks currently own in the number 9 overall pick. I'm going to see if they are in the mood to maybe get robbed a little bit and give us that draft pick. John Concar in every single pick we have in this year's draft. So 20 in rounds 1 and 2, and then 26 in round 2 as well. Obviously not the best trade in the world, but thank God this is 2K. We are going to go ahead and maybe throw in a couple more seconds if you're interested in that. They agree to that. So we now have the number 9 overall pick, and potentially a new backup shooting guard is on the horizon for us. Again, that's not 100%, but we will see the options for us here. There definitely is some. Cason Wallace is here. Alzer Thompson, who I know is a guy that is currently projected, I believe, to actually be around the top 5 or 6 area in most mock drafts. He is 6'7", Maybe somebody we could just move there. It appears he's a 76 overall, as we do have him scouted 100%. Anthony Black, also 6'7". I did draft him the other day, so I think Alzer Thompson is probably going to be my pick here. Move him down to the backup shooting guard spot. He will probably be backing up Desmond Bane probably for the rest of the video. He is a 76 overall, so I will move him to that spot real quick. Actually, I'll just get through. Let me get through team player options. Bane's obviously coming back. Williams obviously coming back. Yeah, I'm just going to bring all these guys back because end of the day, I can just trade them for picks. Brandon Clark will get a qualifying offer. Jarrett Culver. The fact that this game will sometimes like auto-renounce like a $5 million team option for a guy like Tyler Hero, and then in return do something like this, give an $8 million qualifying offer to a guy like Jarrett Culver is absolutely, and like just the level of play here and 2K's idiocy, if for lack of a better term, is absolutely crazy to me. But that being said, we are going to go ahead. We're going to move the position here on Mr. Alzer Thompson. We're going to move him to the backup shooting guard spot. I'm tripping over my own words right now. So shooting guard there, and then secondary will be small forward. So we're good there. We are probably going to make a couple trades. I think I'm definitely in the market for that. LeBron, free agent here. Technically, he just signed an extension today, so obviously the shared file is not updated. But yeah, LeBron got a fat extension. I'm going to sign Dylan Brooks, about $20 million a year, and I'm going to probably trade him. I don't really like Dylan Brooks a lot, if I'm being honest with you, so we can include him in a trade. I'm going to do that. Steven Adams also gone. I'm not going to announce the rights on Brandon Clark, obviously. Like, it's just weird shit like that 2K does. But Brooks is going to be coming back, and then we're going to be probably throwing him in some sort of deal. I will give Brandon Clark an offer as well. Wants about $15 million a year. Also could be maybe a guy. No, do not renounce the rights. We're in the market for a new starting center. That's definitely kind of the name of the game right now. So let's find a trade. This is what we refer to as killing two birds with one stone. Xavier Tillman, Dylan Brooks, and Brandon Clark going to the New York Knicks for RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson. Two birds, one stone. We get our new starting small forward and our new starting center. Both on, honestly, not too bad deals, especially Mitchell Robinson. Just about $15 million per season. Not too bad at all. It looks like Jaren Jackson Jr. is not too happy with us. I know what to fix now. I'll go ahead and change it after this. But that being said, I think we still have one or two more trades. So we're going to make this trade right here with the Washington Wizards. We're going to send them Tyus Jones just straight up for Daniel Gafford. I don't know what your thoughts are, obviously, on this, if this is a good deal or not. Couple reasons I'm making this deal. One, we have a longer-term contract with Daniel Gafford. He's 3 years younger, and I don't need an 82 overall point guard coming off the bench when I, one, have Kennedy Chandler, who's probably ready to go, and two, have a 95 overall, most likely MVP caliber starting point guard. So, Daniel Gafford, welcome to the Memphis Grizzlies, and just like that, I think this team's kind of figured out. Honestly, Vince Williams Jr. and David Roddy probably both going to get traded now just for some picks. I don't really see a way with the way this team's currently constructed to get either of these guys into the rotation. So, especially if I can get a first-round pick, that's actually a Minnesota pick. You want to give me your first-round pick? Yeah, they don't even have their first-round pick. Anybody else offer me a first? This Thunder first is actually a Clippers first. That actually may end up being valuable. So I will 100% do that. I'm not sure how bad the Clippers actually end up being in this shared file, but we will see. And that's a lottery-protected first-round pick from the Sacramento Kings. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. How about if instead of that, I take your first in 2026. That work? How about I throw in another second? I don't have any seconds. Son of a bitch. All right. I'm making this way too hard. It's an unprotected Atlanta pick. It's not going to be good at all, but it's fine by me. All right. So this team is hopefully on the on the upswing. I don't really know what you want to say, but obviously we didn't win a playoff series last year. I think this team definitely got better. I will see you guys with the rotation here at the start of year 2. The second season for us in Memphis is here. We made a couple trades, most notable acquiring a new starting small forward and a new starting center with RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson from the New York Knicks. Really excited to see how well this team can kind of mesh together, and here's how it's going to look. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, RJ Barrett, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Mitchell Robinson. The bench unit, honestly, pretty good. Zaire Williams, Daniel Gafford, Alzer Thompson, Jake LaRavia, and Kennedy Chandler. It's an okay, it's good. It's not great. I would say it's a solid enough bench to hopefully be competitive here in the second season, hopefully, as one of the top seeds in the Western Conference. I'll catch y'all at the end of year 2. It was definitely a much better second season for us here in Memphis. Nikola Jokic gets his third career MVP, as we are the 1 seed here in the Western Conference. Also number 1 in the power rankings. Funny enough, the year started off not so well. We were actually around a 6 seed to start off like the first 10 or 15 games, and we really kind of stepped it up as the year did progress. So I'm super excited to see that, and obviously hoping for a championship. Victor Wembanyama, your Rookie of the Year. Now the rookies shouldn't be completely overpowered anymore. I'm now downloading my own rookie draft classes, the ones that I even used back when I didn't have this shared file, so hopefully they're not too crazy. That being said, very solid season. I mean, it's probably kind of a one-man show now with Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. What? Oh my God. You know, I'm assuming that we're probably not going to see Ben Simmons win Sixth Man of the Year anymore now that we're in like kind of the shared foul, or at least every year. But I did not expect to see James Harden going back to the Houston Rockets. Not only back to the Houston Rockets, but as their sixth man. That's kind of crazy. Giannis wins Defensive Player of the Year. Cam Thomas, Most Improved. Taylor Jenkins, Coach of the Year. At 56 and 26. That's absolutely insane. I can't get it. Wow, Pacers 1 seed. I can't get over James Harden. I really can't. John Morant averaged a double-double and was an absolute stud for us. Super happy we have him in today's video. Jaren Jackson Jr., RJ Barrett, kind of the big three right there. Desmond Bane, really solid, obviously fourth option. Zaire Williams, Alzer Thompson. Pretty solid rookie campaign for the minutes and kind of role he had. RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, not too bad. Kind of did what he kind of had to. Honestly, on a really cheap contract, I'll take that production kind of any day of the week. Daniel Gafford, not a bad backup center option. Jake LaRavia, and then Kennedy Chandler. So this is a fun team. The way that the roster's kind of built, honestly, might not change a ton throughout the video. Might have one or two kind of biggish trades, but the core of their team is kind of here. We got a rematch of last year's first round with the Dallas Mavericks. All right, maybe progression sliders are kind of broken because Dorian Finney-Smith is a 85 overall. Okay, maybe the person who made this roster might be like a Mavericks fan or something. That being said, we're getting smoked by them. And have anything to do with DFS being an 85 overall? We go on to win 4 straight. Let's see if everybody... No, because nobody else's roster, like every other overall, is relatively normal. I have no idea why DFS was an 85 overall. That being said, we are taking on the Denver Nuggets, and we are up 3-0 here in the Western Conference semifinals. Hoping to go to the Western Conference Finals as we do. Taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jordan McLaughlin, Wendell Moore, Ant, Towns, and Gobert. Kind of a battle of the big threes. Honestly, if you want... It's basically this. Do you believe that Edwards, Towns, and Gobert is better than Morant, Jackson Jr., and RJ Barrett? Let me know in the comment section. Kind of an interesting debate. I'm going to take our team just because I kind of want us to win. But if I sat down and kind of really thought about it, I don't really know who I'm taking. Celtics are in the finals. They're back there, and now we're facing them. Obviously, okay, there's got to be something a little broken with this because, I'm not going to say I'm not going to use this shared file again because it is nice to have everything up to date, but Marcus Smart's not an 87 overall as much as I'd love him to be. Al Horford should not be an 83 overall anymore, or at least he won't be. I mean, again, progression is a little bit broken, and regression especially, but 83 is a little high for Al. It sucks. It's not like it's everybody. Like 90 and 96 for Brown and Tatum is not like egregious. Robert Williams is typically around an 85 here, but like Smart being an 87, and it's not like his stats are even getting better. So maybe it's just their overalls. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Should I continue using this shared file if there are some guys that continue to just progress and get way too good of overalls, even if maybe their numbers and stats don't change too much? We'll see. We're up 3-2 here against the Celtics, and we win our first championship in year number 2. Ja Morant, our stud young superstar, winning his first career Finals MVP. Hopefully one of many throughout the entirety of this video. Let's sim the draft lottery now. It's going to be the Magic. The Sixers were bad. Wow. Jazz, Bulls, and Spurs. Bulls pick is via Portland. Kind of shocked, but also kind of not shocked that Portland wasn't that good. I'm excited to watch Portland this year. Hopefully we have a fully healthy Damian Lillard. I love Dame, obviously, and I think having a fully healthy Dame would be great. 29th and 30th overall picks. Not exactly what I was hoping for. Honestly, I'm probably just going to trade them, maybe for one future first or something. No, I don't even get that. I'll just do this, and then can I get a future first this way? Or honestly, just give me 2 seconds. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. All right, so we're not drafting anybody here. Really didn't need to. Zaire Williams, Jake LaRavia, both going to be coming back. We're probably not going to really be changing much about this team for now. Once we kind of get, as the years do progress, I won't leave the team exactly the same past this. But back-to-back seasons and, a 5-year rebuild in the middle of it is not too crazy, I don't think. Wow, it's fun because it's an updated free agency, definitely. At least Paul George is not like an 82 overall. So, they got that right. PG is not regressing, and neither is DeMar, honestly. So that's kind of cool to see. Obviously, we don't have any money to sign anybody, but in a different world when we maybe go out and, rebuild a bad team, we might have some money to sign one of these guys, like a DeMar who didn't regress, or like a Paul George who didn't regress. It's really cool to see. Our number one priority is bringing back Desmond Bane. Obviously, we are going to go ahead and wait till after the moratorium period is over, unless he gets a contract, to go ahead and give him an actual contract. I do not want him, a guy that good, to be playing on his qualifying offer. So we're through the moratorium phase. We will now offer Desmond Bane a 5-year deal. That's a whole lot of money for Desmond Bane, but honestly, it's what the market demands. It's what he's going to kind of get right now. So the team's going to stay exactly the same just for going into year 3. After that, we'll definitely make some changes, though. I will see you guys in the rotation. at the start of the third season. Fresh off a championship, the team and the roster remain basically exactly the same, except for kind of like the bottom guys that really aren't in the rotation. But super fun team here. Ja Morant just won a finals MVP for us. He's an absolute monster. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, who got a fat contract extension from us, RJ Barrett, Jaren Jackson Jr., who I'm hoping can maybe win a Defensive Player of the Year award this season. And then Mitchell Robinson, the bench unit, Zaire Williams, Daniel Gafford, Alistair Thompson, Jake LaRavia, and Mr. Kennedy Chandler. Let's see if this team can go back-to-back. I do have high hopes. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. This team continues to just be an absolute god squad. We are a 1 seed here in the Western Conference once again. I can't even imagine how many games we won. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't see a whole bunch of L's while we were simming the season. Luka Doncic, MVP. Technically a second one of this video. I don't count it unless it's a triple-double for Luka, though. So, sorry, man. This one, unfortunately, does not count. Xavier Booker, your Rookie of the Year, is in Orlando. Andre Drummond, 6th Man of the Year in Chicago. Giannis, still winning DPOYs. Jalen Green, most improved. 63-19. Very, very happy with that record. Very, very impressed with this team as a whole. 11 games up. Oh, wow. I guess the Pelicans still are overpowered. Yeah, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Who's on the Pacers? I didn't even check that because obviously they didn't make the finals last year. I didn't play them. What? What is this team? What the hell? Paul George goes, what is it up with like all these vets going back to their old squads? All right, so PG's getting paid. LeBron's getting paid. Halliburton's getting paid. Tobias Harris signed basically a minimum deal. That makes a little bit more sense. I do not want to play. I can't fucking speak today. I do not want to face that team in the finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Draymond Green. All right, so as you can see, the kind of the progression, or not progression, but maybe the non-regression, almost progression. I think Draymond starts out like an 82 overall, and he's somehow still progressing. So maybe like the regression sliders on this shared file are just something crazy because honestly, I didn't touch any settings. I made sure that we were at 50 sim difficulty, and that's all I really checked. I almost in the round. So I'll definitely check them out before we do get into the video tomorrow. I'll check them out in the off, like once I make a cut or something. But it's just kind of weird. I'll check them though, and I'll let you guys know. Because there's definitely something off about this right now. There's no way that like guys like Marcus Smart and Draymond Green should be going up in overalls. Like, it's just not possible. Lakers in the playoffs and in the Western Conference Finals. DeMar's at 94 overall. AD's at 93. All right. It's a good duo you have right there. I would say we're definitely a better team, though. We're definitely a deeper team. I say that we're down 3-1, and we lose in 5. I guess whoa. Darius Garland and the Cavs sweep the Lakers, so I guess who knows what would have happened to us. That being said, we will get through the majority of this offseason. Might make a trade or two. Probably not anything that crazy. I saw our name flash in the... Oh, wow. That looks like that Atlanta pick actually paid out a little bit. I think it is unprotected, but it sticks right there at number 13. So probably not going to draft anybody, but definitely could use it in a trade. Taylor Jenkins still a very good head coach. Definitely not going anywhere. We might include it in a trade. I'm not really sure what we need. Oh, wrong button. I'm not really sure what we need, but just because I don't like leaving teams as a carbon copy for multiple seasons, we might make a trade. I'm not even sure if this is even somewhat possible, but we're going to see if the Phoenix Suns will give me DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, it would be an upgrade at the starting center spot. I don't necessarily need to do it, but I think we need to make definitely one more kind of home run deal throughout this video because it definitely will get a little bit stale if we don't. So that's the 13th overall pick from Atlanta. I'll also give you 29, and then there's no other players I'd be willing to include, but I will give you my first round pick next year. I'm going to save that Clipper pick just in case they suck because I actually kind of want to see what their team looks like right now, just kind of out of curiosity. So they still have Kawhi. They added a felon. They have Yusuf Nurkic, Mo Bamba. It's not a bad team necessarily, but it's a team whose pick I'd rather keep over my own. So is this possible? We do not get that to go through. How about one more first from the Bulls in 2028? That's still not happening. Are there any players I'd maybe be willing to give up? Like, would I give up Kennedy Chandler here? I honestly think I would, and they agree to that. So that's a shit ton. That is a lot to go. Also, I checked the progression sliders. They're all at 50, which is completely normal. It's how I have them in every video. So I don't really know what's going on. And what's wrong. So that being said, do we still have the 28th overall pick or 29th overall pick? We do. I'll see if there's potentially a backup point guard option replacement for maybe, obviously we moved Kennedy Chandler in that deal. Might be a little controversial, but at the end of the day, he's playing 10 minutes a night, not that huge. And a guy like Elliot Cadeau? Elliot might be my guy. He's a C+ overall. He's a position of need for us. Welcome to the team, Elliot. Actually, 75 overall. We basically just went ahead and got not an exact replacement, but overall-wise, a pretty similar, if not exact, replacement at the backup point guard spot. Alistair Thompson, Jake LaRavia, definitely both coming back here. Zaire Williams needs that qualifying offer. I 100% need him back. I'm very big on how well he's been playing for us here today. It looks like Giannis wants to go to the Nets over the Bucks. How are the Nets giving him more money than the Bucks? I'm not sure. There's no option on it, as you can see. I guess they just have a fuck ton of cap space, and maybe the Bucks weren't willing to do this. Tatum going back to the Celtics? No. Oh, fucking Christ. Oh, we're so fucked if that happens. We are just, like, royally fucked in the butt. Like, screwed. I can't even begin to explain to you if I have to face a team with Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson on it. I might as well just stop the rebuild now. Like, I really might. Williams is going to be coming back. This team's basically set to go, but we need a backup center, don't we? But that's absolutely scary of a thought if that's possibly going to happen. George Brooks, I almost said Garth Brooks. Where the hell is that? He's 30 years old. Is he like a G League free agent? Is that one of those little glitches that happens? Honestly, he's a 79 overall. I'll sign him to a 3-year deal. Might not be here the whole time, but welcome to the team. I'm going to start calling him Garth Brooks. But yeah, George Brooks, 7'2", 30 years old, undrafted from Victoria, wherever the hell that is. That being said, we're in an interesting spot. I think this team should hopefully be back in the finals. I think DeAndre Ayton's a huge upgrade. I'll see you guys at the start of year 4. It is year 4, and it is here. This team is looking like they're ready to win a championship. The amount of talent on this team is bonkers. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, RJ Barrett, Jaren Jackson Jr., our new addition of DeAndre Ayton as our starting center. We gave up a fat trade package in order to get him, but I'm excited to have him here nonetheless. Alzer Thompson taking over that 6-man role. A little bit of a higher overall than Zion Williams. Not a shot against him, but when we look at the starting shooting guard versus the starting small forward, again, it's just kind of how the game and how the progression is working. But Desmond Bane is a little bit of a lower overall. Definitely not playing as well as a guy like RJ Barrett is. So we're giving Thompson the 6-man spot, playing 20 minutes a night. Followed by that is Zion Williams. Then George Brooks, our 30-year-old, 7'2" free agent signing, who I've quite literally never heard of before. Probably a real person. I've never heard of him. Jake Laravia, and then our boy Elliott, who we just drafted to be our new backup point guard, replacing Kennedy Chandler. He's 6'3" from Duke. I'm excited to see what this team can do. I'll catch you guys at the end of year 4. LaMelo Ball averages almost 30 points a game and gets his first career MVP award. He had a very impressive season. He's a 96 overall. All right, well, yeah, maybe that's a little bit broken too. We're once again a 1 seed here in the West. Really no surprises. This team's absolutely bonkers. Jerry Easter, the second rookie of the year, is a member of the Chicago Bulls. Shaden Sharp, 6th man of the year, is in Portland. Giannis wins another DPOY. He is now in Brooklyn. I got a couple requests to actually do a Giannis Bulls rebuild. If that's something you guys wanted to see, let me know in the comment section. Caleb Foster, most improved. We got 65-17. Taylor Jenkins, I believe that's his 2nd or 3rd coach of the year. I think 2nd, right? 8 games up here on the Pelicans. Did they sign? Oh, my God. I mean, like, I am praying with every single bone in my body that I really do not have to face that team because, albeit we have a very, very talented squad and we honestly shouldn't be scared of anybody, but that team scares the living shit out of me. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So, let's see what happens. We got Phoenix here. CP3, who's still an 88 overall. Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Omaha Billu, Gafford, Cameron Johnson, Mitchell Robinson. We obviously did take DeAndre Ayton from them. So we're facing a couple old friends there in Phoenix. We're 2-2 right now with them. We go up 3-2, and we're going to a Game 7. And we win. Thank the Lord. We're facing the Houston Rockets. Oh, who have Kyrie Irving now? Well, that's interesting. Harden and Kyrie back as teammates once again. And this time it's in Houston. We're up 2-1 right now. We're up 3-1, and I see the Pelicans are here in the Western Conference Finals. Oh, yippee. I just am so excited to see Jason Tatum, who's averaging 30 points in the playoffs, and Zion Williamson, who's basically averaging 30 points as well. I mean, my Lord, that is, we're going to lose. There's just no shot we're winning against that team. Like, oh, God. All right, we're battling back a little bit. Okay. Oh, way to blue balls, man. Who's on the 76ers? What? How did Ant end up here? Oh, what in the world is going on in this rebuild today? And the 76ers go on to win the finals. I guess Joel Embiid's the answer for stopping Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson on the same team. Well, then, we've still only won 1 championship, and we're heading into year 5, and I would like to win another one. So let's hit the draft lottery. Do we have any picks in it? Oh, baby, we have that Clippers pick, and I know it is unprotected. And it sits at number 8. Falls down a little bit. Kind of sucks it sits at number 8, but I will take it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I think I definitely have a multitude of options. Where is Taylor Jenkins? Because I'd like to bring him back, definitely. He actually has 6 offers. Hopefully he accepts ours. Okay, thank God. I don't know what I want to do with it. This is obviously going to be a rookie if we end up drafting somebody, and this is the final season, so we don't have a ton of time to progress them. That being said, I'm not really sure what other trade I'd make, unless it's like George Brooks this first and maybe this first here, potentially for a new backup center, but like obviously money is probably a little bit tight, and we might not have a ton of options here. Keldon Johnson could be fun as a new backup power forward. We could also get Jakob Poeltl. I think that deal's well worth it. I mean, the numbers really aren't there for either of these guys, but they both will be backups. All right, we're going to pull the trigger on that deal. We're going to do that. We will hop up. We didn't have any other picks, right? I hope not. We did not, no. So team player options, RJ Barrett declines. Thompson's obviously coming back. Qualifying, Jackson Jr. needs his qualifying offer. I'm just going to give him the qualifying deal. Jake Laravia, I'm just going to let go. Honestly, I'm not going to trade him for a pick. It's the final season, and we just traded for Keldon Johnson to be the backup to Jaren Jackson Jr. So, Jake, thank you for your service. Congrats on your championship. You're no longer needed here. That being said, we have an unrestricted free agent. Holy shit. I'm just going to say right now, thank God Jaren Jackson Jr. is restricted because I'm going to give him his qualifying offer. This is nuts. Can you imagine? Like Jimmy Butler here, DeMar. So what appears to be happening is because all the sliders for progression are on 50. Everything's on 50. Other than that, it doesn't appear that there's any regression sliders that are really changing anything. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to look into at some point. Obviously, we'll worry about it at a different time, though. We're entering the final season. So somehow these guys all come back. Qualifying offer will obviously be out to Jaren Jackson Jr., even though I don't believe he should have a qualifying offer right now. But he does somehow, and I will take advantage of when 2K does shit like this. So any day of the week, it's good to hear with me. That being said, we have a little bit of a new-looking team. We added Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl to this squad. See you guys at the start of year 5 here in Memphis. It is the final season for us here in Memphis. This team only got more talented, I would say. It's still Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, RJ Barrett, Jackson Jr., and DeAndre Ayton as the starting 5. Nothing changed there. I'm still giving Ausar Thompson the 6-man role just because the lowest overall player on our starting 5 is technically our shooting guard. He is our backup shooting guard. Also, I know I have the whole logic that, Keldon Johnson, technically listed as a power forward, couldn't be a 6-man. I don't necessarily consider him a big man. That's just because that's my logic. I don't love big men being my 6th man, but I would have done it if we didn't have I don't want to say low overall starting shooting guard, but I mean, he started out the videos in 85 and didn't go up a single overall, so little suspicious. Larry Williams, Jakob Poeltl, and Elliott. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, so Elliott it is. This is a super fun team. I cannot believe this team's only won 1 championship. Hopefully getting our 2nd here at the end of the 5th and final year. Big shout out to 2K for finally giving our man and our superstar here, Ja Morant, the respect he deserves. He gets an MVP award here at the end of the 5th and final year. Hopefully gets his 2nd career finals MVP award when we do get into the playoffs. Koa Pete, Rookie of the Year in Washington, D.C. Mr. Scoot Henderson, 6th man of the year. Funny enough, he's still a 94 overall, even coming off the bench. Well, that's interesting. Giannis wins another DPOY. I'm pretty sure he's won it every single season in this video, I think. Would have liked to see Jaren Jackson Jr. get one. Actually, I think Isaac might have got one year. But nonetheless, Jaren Jackson Jr. did not get one. Nasir Cunningham, also a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, along with 6th man of the year, and 94 overall Scoot Henderson, gets most improved. Taylor Jenkins, 3rd or 4th coach of the year. I think it's his 3rd. We go 68-14. I mean, obviously the Pelicans still have Tatum and Zion, but we're 18 games ahead of them. Hopefully that means we can get a championship here because I really want another one. Ja obviously just won MVP for us. Jackson Jr., complete stud. RJ Barrett, Ausar Thompson off the bench, DeAndre Ayton, Desmond Bane. Really didn't progress a ton in this video. And look, I am not expecting him to come out here and drop, 22 points a game. I don't need that, but it's just weird. We've added more talent to this team every single season, basically. Yeah, actually we kind of have. But his numbers have also gotten worse every year, which is also kind of interesting. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed with the guy because he's an absolute stud still, but I don't know, 2K. What's going on there? Utah here. Tyrese Proctor, DeJounte Murray, Dorian Finney-Smith, the 84 overall. Ron Holland, James Brown, Emmanuel Quickley, Spencer Dinwiddie, Grant Williams. I'm not saying Dorian Finney-Smith is a bad player. I just think an 84 overall for him is ridiculous. How we lost the first game? How are we losing to fucking Utah right now? What, are the Mormons beating us? Good Lord. Are we fucking serious right now? Thank the fucking gods. James Harden is now starting. Looks like Kyrie Irving is gone. Him and Jalen Green next to each other. Mikal Bridges, Jabari Smith Jr., Şengün, Gregory Jackson, Cam Scott, Grady Dick. Great name, dude. All right, we're down 1-0. We're down 2-0. 2-1. I mean, There are some days that this game will... Oh, great way to fucking end it. I'm going to fucking puke. There are some days that this game will be super nice to me, and I will have like I don't want to say mediocre, but maybe not so good of a team, and I'll somehow win 2 to 3 championships. And then there's some days like this when, I don't even know what... Like, the fucking Avengers couldn't even beat this, and somehow we're losing in the playoffs to the Houston Rockets with 48-year-old James Harden starting a point guard. So I have no idea what's going on today. That being said, we made an absolute God squad, and I had a really fun time with this one. Let me know your thoughts on this shared file. There's obviously something kind of wrong with it or tweaking with it. If you guys know what that possibly could be, let me know down below in the comment section. Of course, I'll go in and make sure that I edit it for next time. But other than that, everything was kind of up to date on the shared file. I think all the contracts are right, besides that LeBron one, which he signed yesterday when you're seeing this video. But, it seems like a great shared file. And again, very much appreciative to this shared file creator. So other than that, that wraps this one up. It sucks we only got the Memphis Grizzlies one championship. And I don't even know how we lost. I really don't. But this was still a super fun team. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.